What's good, y'all? Welcome to my review for this week's episode of My Hero Academia, Season 4. This episode was fucking awesome, man. Bakugo on the drums. Need I say more? That was probably the best part of the episode, ladies and gentlemen. We saw that Jiro can sing like a fucking angel, apparently. And we saw some more of La Brava, and a gentle criminal, which I won't lie. I mentioned this in my episode reactions, which should be dropping probably hopefully the same day since I got my laptop back. Thank fucking Christ. So I should be able to upload that video within a reasonable time frame again. Apologies for those last couple of reactions that I'm taking like damn near a week to come out. But anyway, so without further ado, guys, let's just jump right in. So we start this episode off it's a video, the first one next, which you found later in the episode, from a Gentle Criminal. He talks about heroes, All Might was number one, yada 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 yada. He also mentions vigilantes in this, so I don't know whether or not that was actually like vigilantes of the past, which I don't know if that's actually a little nod to Hero Waka Vigilantes. You guys know the spin-off manga, which, in case you're wondering, no, I have not read it, but I'm curious if that was like a little Easter egg or nod to it. We talked about some of the villains. We also see one that is definitely not supposed. That definitely looks something like Joker. I forget his name, and then they were talking about for one and all this other stuff. Just giving a little more basic, rundown of the hero society. They introduces himself, Gentle Criminal. We see La Brava, and she is having an orgasm watching this video. And then, of course, Gentle Criminal comes in there, got like a little teacup, got himself his brew, which I believe he was drinking coffee. And he's like, "Aha, La Brava, what is it?" And then he says that the video was taken down, and then she also mentions that the channel was taken down again, and that she re-uploaded, and that she was swooning over his first video. And then the dude starts like pouring his coffee, and the angle he was at was like very easily by the edge of it, where you're like, fam, I think you need to move your hand a little bit to the left, to get a little bit better aim. Your aim looks a little off, and some of it actually got his like glove. He's like, hot. So they head back outside. They go on about how that they're not really getting many views. That the Jace on why he. Actually, before we get there, we found out kind of like what Gentle Criminal's kind of like end game is, and why he is driving force. And so he talks about Jace store, which was a store he robbed I should say in massive air quotes, that he robbed last week. And that the reason he did that was because that their best-selling item nearly expired. I think it was called Fluffy Puddin'. Had like a little case of mislabeling. So the company feigned ignorance about that. It looks like it was just going to end, with no real conclusion on either side. So he robbed the place because his goal is to take down people that act ungentlemanly like he does. Or I forget what we said, ungentlemanly, or they're just not like he acts, as the gentle criminal. And then La Brava starts going off about, be like, that the video ain't getting any views, that ever since Satan came around, everyone's only talking about the League of Villains, yada 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 yada. And she's like having like a fucking seizure over this shit, man. And Gentle, she says, "Hey, Brava, if you keep your hand on people, you won't grow," because she's like, what, 2 feet, 3 feet tall, 4 feet maybe. The bitch is really fucking short. And so it will jump into the air, and then he talks about what his next plan is going to be, which is just them going to be that what they're going to do is something that's going to make them talk of the town, and that's what his next plan of attack is. Now I'm going to be real with y'all. I'm actually going to admit that. Now, Chibi mentioned in his video for his review last, which was her first appearance for the anime anyway. He mentioned these are actually like his favorite villains in the series is La Brava and Gentle. Which at first I was like, what? Bruh, come on, he ain't as cool as Stain or All for One. Come on, bro. But after this episode, I gotta admit they are starting to grow on me. Now, do I think they'll be better? I'll find them cooler to be like cooler than All for One or Stain? Probably not. I think I'll like those guys like my favorite villains of the series. But I definitely say I'm really starting to dig these guys, and they're really starting to grow on me. And I like their designs. I just like how they are. They're like very like classical villains, Silver Age villains. It's very cool. They feel like comic book villains, and which is obviously the point because we all know how horrible she is with the Marvel Universe, DC, and all that jazz. So it was nice to see, and I'm really digging these guys, and I definitely look forward to seeing them again. Then we get to pretty much the main focus of this episode, which is, of course, with Jiro and the rest of the guys preparing for the school festival. Which I gotta say, first of all, I gotta say I love this title for the episode. It's called "Preparing for the School Festival is the funnest part. Is the funniest part." Wait, is it funnest or funniest? Yeah, I think that's funnest part. Funnest part, which, I bet it kind of is, getting everything. At first, for a while, I thought it's the funniest part, because, it can be, when you have all these stories about, by the way, like, kind of this broke down of us. The behind-the-scenes stuff can always be very fun, but, for a school festival, doing the behind-the-scenes stuff preparing for it is kind of fun, where you're preparing everything. It can be stressful depending on what you're doing, but it can also be fun at the same time when you come together with your fellow friends, and, you make something cool. So I definitely gotta agree with that episode title. I think that was a nice real choice. Whoever's idea whoever idea the title was, whether I don't know if that was the name of one of the chapters that were adapted this episode, or this is just from the guys over at Studio Bones. Either way, I tip my hat to good sir, whoever came up with that title, because that's a really cool title. So then we're back with Jiro and the other guys, and they're wondering, what are we gonna do? Ojiro asked Izuku and Kirishima, like, hey, you guys got an extra class, because of course they were doing work studies and everything, and they're like, yeah. So they're like, sorry, but Ojiro's like, don't worry, we'll take care of it ourselves. We then head over back to Jiro and the others, her with a bunch of the guys with Bakugo, like, way behind them, and they're just talking, like, what are we going to do about and Mina's going on about dance routine, and costumes, and they're like, and Kamina's like, what are we gonna do? We should do something that's popular nowadays, right? And then Bakugo overhears two of the general studies kids, and they're like, hey, did you hear? And while they're talking, they're just staring at Bakugo. There's two of them. One of these guys has like a huge chin with like a pompadour. The other chick has like her hair in like a ponytail. And they're just like staring with disgust at Bakugo as they're walking, being like, hey, word on the street is they're doing the hero course, class 1A, is doing a concert for us. For us? What the hell is that supposed to mean? They're too carefree. Even though they were attacked by villains before, they went to the training camp nonchalantly and were attacked again. They even had some injuries. And because of that, even we had to go through some shit. What exactly? Because everyone other than Class 1A has been pretty much irrelevant for a majority of the series, so I don't know what y'all have to deal with, except maybe some paparazzi, or the horror, whatever. That they've got some nerve. I'm like, now at this point in the episode, I'm just like, what the fuck is your beef with Bakugo? They're trying to do something for you. They're trying, they're stressed out. It's school, you're stressed, especially in Japan. You guys know how the Japanese are about their education and Asians in general. We already know that. So they're probably stressed. It's high school, you're dealing with your hormones and shit. You got problems, you want to relieve some stress, go to a concert and have a good time. So, and they're doing it for them. Now, at this point of the episode, that's when I thought, I was just like, what the hell is your beef? They're trying to do this for you. And they're taking it like some fucking insult or something, Now, but then and then Bakugo's just kind of looking at them back. We then head over back to, like, the dorms. And, they're kind of and Ida says, since there's about a month before the school festival starts, why don't we get through the majority of the stuff right now? So they're just trying to discuss where are we going to do the instruments. So Jiro meant to ask them if they're like, we should do something with a B. Mina's like, we need to do something that we can dance to. And then Jiro says if we put everyone's opinions together, then we're looking for a 4 on the floor new rave type of club rock song. I don't even know what the hell that is. I mean, I know what a rave is. I know that rave disco, that rave, dance music in the club, but I don't know what the hell she means, 4 on the floor, club rock. I don't know what all this other shit is. But, and then Jiro mentions, like, if you want something to dance to, we should just be doing EDM, getting that dubstep, higher up scratch, be like, let me face my feet, get that Kingdom Hearts shit blasted. But they were like, we need to do that. We want everyone to play. That people want to play instruments, right? So she asked around, hey, does anyone know how to play the drums or bass? Which is the backbone of a band and the one thing that everyone wants to do because hey, you look cool, blast at the drums. Now I know I did too. That's probably the one everyone picked up on when they got to Rock Band. Everyone was like battling for the drums. Man, that's so fucking 2000s. Anyway. So Jiro asks if anyone knows how to play the bass or the drum. They no, it's just dead silence. Then Kaminari asks Bakugo, like, "Hey Bakugo, didn't you have some classes, some music classes you took back in the day with the drums?" And he's like, "Huh?" And at first Bakugo's like, "I don't want no part of this bullshit." And then Sarah's like, "Huh? But I've heard they're hard." And then Bakugo just starts mastering and then Bob just starts going out on drums. It's fucking epic. Absolutely legendary. Will definitely be in the thumbnail. If not, I might just use that whole one shot as the thumbnail title. Bakugo on the drums. You know, I don't know. You guys will find out when I title this video when it actually drops. So, anyway. So Bakugo goes on the drums. Jiro's impressed. It's like, "Oh my god, that's perfect." Everyone else is like, "Oh my god, Bakugo's so cool" on the drums. And then Bakugo just leaves. He's like, "Nah, man, I don't want any part of this." Then we get to an interesting part of the episode, and where Jiro tries to come after him and says that, you know, if you're doing it, it'll definitely turn out good. And then Bakugo, I wouldn't go so far as to say he snaps right at this moment, but he definitely gives everyone a reality check, I would say. He says there's no way it will turn out good. Is that right? Because, you know, and then right here, when Bakugo actually explained it, this is actually where I started to say why they kind of got a little triggered about that earlier on. They're like, "The nerve on these kids! How dare they give us a concert!" And he says that some empty promise to let the students grow from their courses below some steam. If that's not satisfaction, I don't know what is. So, and that's probably the reason why the kids were upset, because they thought, "Oh, look at these fucking hero kids who are pretty much the talk of the town right now. They're doing a concert for us. My God, how dare they? The nerve of these kids." Now, when he says the top of the whole satisfaction thing about them kind of doing it more for themselves, now it kind of makes sense why those kids were acting the way they are and were like so, you know, scoffing at the idea of this concert. Now it makes sense because they don't think about what the other kids have gone through and what they're doing. And that they're not gonna take this shit lying down from the people they hate. I.e., just look at how the WWE has booked Roman Reigns. You know, it's very 1-to-1 with this kind of thing here, ladies and gentlemen. And I just gotta give more props to Horikoshi for the development Bakugo has gotten this season, especially here in these last few episodes, from the episode with the kid and this one. The growth Bakugo has gone through. I mean, we had some great moments like in Season 3, around the end of that, with the whole thing with Izuku. But my God, seeing it more like right here in these moments has just been an absolute amazing to see Bakugo just grow so much as a character. So again, give my major props to my man, Horikoshi. So then everyone starts to realize, okay, I get it now. You know, we need to start thinking about the other students and what they're going on. And then Bakugo kind of does the thing where he's like, if we're going to do this, we're going to have to do this right. And kill everyone in UA with our music. So Bakugo goes in and, you know, we go from there. So, and then we have something with Todoroki about ever since he got kidnapped by the League of Villains, he's been carrying heavy burden, which he has, as we saw at Season 3. So then we head back to Abadava. And she has her camera out, and they pretty much say they're pretty much going to break into UA, because that's going to be like some hot shit, which it will be. If this dude can legit break into UA during the school festival, that's going to be some hot shit. So, I was like, yo, what are these guys going to do? Are they going to break into the school festival? I guess they are, because I was always like, because I always use the term villains in air quotation with these guys, but with this, I guess it's very obvious that they are going to be the villains and they're going to make some trouble. I doubt it's going to be anything major. It's probably going to be like it's probably going to be like an oh shit, you know, thing. Then, you know, the guys are going to work together to beat them. I doubt it's going to be like something great like we saw at the end of Season 1 and the beginning of Season 2. I doubt it's going to be like that big, you know. Or maybe it will be, I don't know. We don't even know what the hell these guys' quirks are, for all we know. So, who the hell knows? It could end up being a goddamn bloodbath, for all we know. Which it probably won't. But anyway, so then we head over back to the rest of the guys. They're kind of still trying to figure out where everyone's still going to go. And Momo tells me, like, oh, you know what, for my education, I learned how to play the piano since I was a kid. Would that help? And I'm like, Momo, I love you, girl. but pianos are useless in rock bands. Useless. And then Mina says, well, we can get her on the keyboard, and Jiro says, we're gonna need some synth for the rave type music and all that shit. So Momo's gonna be working on the keyboard. So, and then we're just kind of debating, and then they go on to and then Mina goes on about we need to add some effects to this thing, like a disco ball and stuff, to really hype people up. She pulls out this video showing up a disco ball, and then she ends up getting the idea of having Uraraka lift both Kirishima and Todoroki up in the air, have them create like a little ice block, and Kirishima just punches the ever-living, just oras that shit to there's nothing left, while they're gonna have Aoyama be a disco ball spinning around with his naval laser to make it look like stardust and shit, which sounds pretty cool. And Aoyama's like, I'm going to be a disco ball. It's not bad. And so then you also get some other stuff. Mina goes on about how she also wanted to get have an all-girls dance group, but hey, she'll let Momo do the keyboards. And then Izuku and the other guys show up, and they're kind of find out that Bakugo's on the drum, and Uraraka's like, Bakugo on the drums. That sounds how I put this, unexpected. And everyone's like, you got a problem with that? You gotta love Bakugo, man. You gotta love Bakugo. So, and then they're still deciding on who's going to do what. They're also going to have the dance group. A couple guys are like, I want to do dance, and I will do effects, yada, 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 yada. And so then, they're starting to think about who's going to do the vocals. And Uraraka nominates Jiro. She's like, Jiro, why don't you do it? And, I forget who, I think it might have been Toru? Might say it might have been Mina. Saying that when you show us your instruments, you sing, and it sounds really cool. And Jiro's like, oh, no, don't keep hyping me up. It's going to make it harder. And before that, actually, we had Kaminari. No, it was Kirishima and Mineta both singing. Kirishima was singing some shit, and Mineta was just screaming. It was like, it didn't sound like no heavy metal, but it was like, it just screamed. They didn't put subtitles, and you just saw shit just coming out of his mouth. And so they're both kind of like, so how much better is your singing, huh, Jiro? And then they put the microphone over and she starts singing. The song was in English. I didn't really catch the lyrics. I was just too shocked by actually how good she is. Which isn't too surprising. I know a lot of Japanese VAs are a lot of time also singers as well, which is a lot, but it's always shocking when you hear a character and then you hear their VA and then you hear them start singing and it just sounds like fucking gospel. Like Jiro's Japanese voice actress sounded amazing. Like, she has an amazing singing voice. Now, I don't know if I mentioned her, but the whole song was in English. And I'm curious if Funimation, they're probably not, judging for what happened in Dr. Stone. Funimation probably isn't going to redub this part of the episode because, actually, you guys remember, in Dr. Stone, in last week's episode on Toonami, it was the episode where you had Asaga Yigen building like those little things for the cell phone. You had that little that Anjamanga, that thing, and I was kind of wondering if they were, and I was such a go in there expect Funimation to redub it, have it in English, with the same, song and dance, but they actually just left it as is and just put English subtitles at the bottom while he was singing. So I was a little disappointed, but at the same time I kind of expected it, since I doubt Funimation has the same type of equipment that the guys over in Japan do when they do these kind of things. And they also didn't, and I don't believe they didn't redub that also scene when we had that singer sing around the midpoint of Dr. Stone when we found out a little bit more of the backstory and Senku's dad. I don't believe they redubbed that either. So Funimation probably is going to redub this when the dub episode is aired next week. I'll find out once the episode airs on Toonami, since I'll just wait for there. So yeah, she sounded great. Everyone was shocked by it. You have this giant glowing yellow lights. Everyone's like, it was like those foodgasm scenes in Food Wars minus everyone losing their clothes. Everyone was shocked by that. Everyone's agreeing and cheering on Jiro, they want Jiro to win, and by unanimous decision, she's gonna be the lead singer. And she also says she'll be doing bass, so she just needs 2 guitarists. And then Kaminari and Mineta are both offer their services to be guitarists. Now Kaminari we kind of expected, because I think we all knew that Kaminari Jiro would make an amazing band. So we're finally starting to see that. Realize he starts playing the guitar, sounds great, and everything. Then we get to Minato. to Mineta. And the man can't reach, because how short he is, he can't reach the string of the guitar, and then he dropped the guitar, there's a spotlight on him, he has tears in his eye, and this is exactly what he said. I made sure to pause the episode right here, just so I can read it word for word for you guys. It says, because of my character design, my hands won't reach. I was laughing my fucking ass off in here, because this is some Deadpool type fourth wall breaking, man. I absolutely love that scene, man. And so then he kind of like hides in some corner, crouched down, be like, I hope all you guys break it now. Fuck this school festival. Fuck it to hell. Fuck it to... You guys get the point. And then so as he's going on his little rant about how fucking... how much this school festival fucking sucks. Fuck you all. Fuck everything it stands for and all that fucking shit. Mina comes out and says, Bruh. Oh, this is probably the one part I'm like the most curious about when we actually do get to the fucking concert. She asks, and she tells him, oh, what if I just give you... Or what if I just... if I give you a harem part of the dance routine, will you do it? And he's like, this school festival can't come soon enough, so... Yeah. And then once then, times happens where it's up till fucking 1 in the morning before they finally decide who's going to be on each group, and that's that. We then hover back to Izuku. Next day, he's with All Might, and they're discussing. And Izuku mentions how he's now able to go to 20% one for all, but even so, he couldn't beat Chisaki, and his body still was kind of creaking, all that other stuff. And All Might's like, it's been a minute since we talked like this, and he says that he's been thinking about this kind of stuff too. And he tells him to meet him outside and put on his gym uniform. He gets out there, and then he goes on about the 6 stages that Izuku has gone through with controlling one for all. And those 60, or actually he tells him to go to 20% and fire off one attack after another in that same spot, which does. He fires off a kick in the air, and massive wind pressures just sent to the trees. He gets down there, his body starts to creak a little bit. He tells him the various stages he's gone through for control one for all, or through one for all. Firing off at 100% one part of the body, changing in one part of the body, using it all in one part of the body continuously, and then moving all of them to and then moving from 5 to 8%. I think that was all of them. I might be missing one. And he tells them to take. And then All Might goes on to have like this big epic like revelation. You can tell Izuku about wind pressure and all this other stuff, and he also was going on about changing the weather like All Might can. And he like stretches his arms out. He's like, the answer to today's lesson is that I. And then Izuku just comes right in front of the frame and says that you don't use 100% of your power all the time. If you did, there'd be destruction. And there'd be debris and destruction everywhere, so he's not going all out all the time. That's what he was going to tell him to take 2 and 6, which was controlling it in like your whole. I think it was like controlling it in one part of your body continuously, which I think the 2 were like controlling it continuously in your body, or like one part of your body, and 6, which was forcing yourself to go to 20 without it breaking your bones, at least completely. That's what he was going for. That's the ones he goes for. And All Might just looking at him like, bro, you just stole my thunder, the fuck? And then All Might teaches him about the wind pressure, and he tells him what body parts are you the most precise with. And he does that flicking thing that Izuku used to do a lot back in season 1 and season 2. He does that. And then he tells him to go to 8%, but the last second of impact, switch to 20, and go. So he does that, sends like a little like pinpoint shot through a tree, and he's like, ugh. It's like, yeah, it's going to take you, well, you're not going to get the hang of it instantly, but he's like, thank you, and goes on from there. And he says, after this, then go beyond the next stage. And what made me wonder, like, with all this talk about wind pressure, I'm curious if this part of the season, or if we're like around here in the late part of season 4, is when we're gonna see Izuku get those new gauntlets he has, those like wind pressure gauntlets he has now, which you guys know he's been rocking recently in the manga, as well as in the movie, as well as the Hero Rising movie. And you guys might have seen one of the covers, at least one of the more recent one, that's obviously Star Wars: A New Hope inspired, with Izuku having his hands up. That's the one where he has gauntlet. I'm pretty sure that's when they debuted, and there was in the dress in the background of it. So I'm curious if this is actually we're going to see Izuku get the gauntlets, We might see it, which I hope we do, because I really like the look of those things. And with all talk about wind pressure, I wouldn't be surprised that's when he gets them. That's just my little theory. So anyway, then we end the episode off with Togata at the front of UA showing it to Eri, and then you see Eri in like this super cute dress. It's like seriously, it's so cute. She has a little badge and everything. There's some flowers on it. It's cute, man. It's seriously really cute. And that, my friend, is where the episode ends. So overall, fucking fantastic episode. I love it. Lava and Gentle are really growing on me. I'm super hyped to see Jiro get a lot of focus and shine. I'm curious about the whole thing with the wind pressure. I'm curious if that means we're gonna get the gauntlet soon. And yeah, man, I'm hyped. I'm hyped for this arc. I'm hyped to see where it's all gonna go. I'm hyped to see the concert. For no other reason, just to see what the hell Mina meant with that harem part for Minato. That should be interesting to say the least. But yeah. So yeah. Overall, I'm going to give this episode a 9.5 out of 10, guys. Oh, and I completely forgot to mention who was on the second guitar. Takoyami was the guy that's on the second control. He gave up after he had to do the F chord, and they even had first if I explained what the F chord meant and everything. So, yeah, I completely skipped over who got the second guitar, so apologies for that. But anyway, hope y'all enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me, subscribe on Twitter, flag at least down in the description box below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.